Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to show you my brand new 2020 Year in a Review book created by Mixbook. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and make sure to check the notifications bell to never miss a new video. So 2020 ended, finally. It's not going to be something we want to look back onto too much, but that means that it's time to create a new Year in a Review photo book. For this year's project, I chose Mixbook because I wanted to take advantage of their amazing and extremely easy to use themes and templates. I love using the Mixbook editor. It's so easy and quick to create a photo book. And when I don't have the time to design something in InDesign, I just really want something that's really good out of the box, and it's not going to give me too much headache and waste too much time when creating a photo book. Yearbooks are a very different project to like a travel book or a wedding photo book because the events are so varied inside the book. And also you have so many pictures, some of them from your phone, some of them from cameras. You also have screenshots from like Instagram stories and Facebook stories and things downloaded from other people's Facebooks, because a yearbook is kind of a journal of your entire year, so it doesn't need to look like a photo album, like a wedding album. It's not glamorous. In this video, I'm going to talk specifically about the yearbook themes found on the Mixbook website, and I'm going to show you this book from beginning to end, but it's not going to be a Mixbook photo book review as such, because I've done that so many times in the past. So if you want to see my Mixbook standard and lay flat photo book reviews, there's going to be a link in the description below. If you don't know who Mixbook is, just very quickly, it's a photo book company in America, one of the biggest ones in the world, who basically offer an extremely easy to use editor and lots of pre-made book templates, which basically means that there's a ready-made book and all you have to do is drag and drop your photos in. Their photo books are very vivid and very kind of scrapbook-like, so lots of stickers, very textured and colorful backgrounds. It's not like a black and white minimalist wedding album style photo book. You can find some of those templates as well, but mostly it's going to be very eye-catching and full of little details and elements. When you go onto the Mixbook website, you have to first select a kind of theme, and they have different categories for them, like wedding, travel, family, baby, and so on. And there's going to be one which is called Yearbooks and another one which is called Year in a Review. Not to confuse the two, the yearbooks are for schools, graduations, and so on. And the Year in a Review is basically what I did now, which is from January the 1st until December the 31st, your life in a photo book. So those are the themes that I'm talking about in this video. When you click on the category, you'll see around 29 themes at the moment. You are not limited to using these themes for the project, but these are the ones specifically made for this kind of a project. But you can use anything else found on the website because you can always fine-tune them and change them to your needs. When it comes to yearbooks or Year in a Review book, there are so many different ways of doing it. You can do it chronologically from January to December, but you also find some templates on the Mixbook website which break down the year into events like the wedding, family events, concerts, friends, or you can find other ones which break it down to family members like my son, my daughter, family pictures, then friends, and so on. I chose to do my book in a chronological order because I think that's the nicest way of seeing your life from January to December, and I broke it down by month. So it's going to start with January, February, and so on, and there's a page for each month. The template I chose for this book is called the Linen Year in Review template. You can find it on the Mixbook website, and the reason why I chose it was because I liked the kind of layout of the photos. There was a very good selection of pages with lots of photos and pages with a fewer photos, nice text elements, and the backgrounds were a little bit too funky for me, so I tried to tone those down a little bit. But because in this book, some months I only had a couple of photos, especially when lockdown started, but from other months, like in February when I was traveling through South America, I had so many photos that it was almost impossible to narrow it down to like 3 or 4 to create one event in the Year in Review book. So If you have a look at those, I'm going to show you the entire book at the end of this video without talking, just from the first page to the last, but just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So for example, here is this page where I have a big photo on the right side and then some text in the middle and some smaller photos. But on the next page, I have lots of small photos. It's very good for those kind of events where you can't really choose between them, or you struggle to narrow down your selection. And then again, later, you've got things where obviously you have one bigger photo, very important event, and then text and smaller photos on the other side. Now you see in this book that at the beginning of the year, it was more about travel than just lockdown and trying to, you know, get through the pandemic as best as you could. And then obviously I moved into my new home in the autumn, or December, but the whole process started much before. So I wanted to create a separate book for my moving in and getting our new home and, you know, refurbishing each individual room. But I was like, maybe I should just put it into all one book because it happened in 2020. So instead of creating a separate photo book for the new home, I just kind of used this book to document the process of painting the walls and changing things around and, you know, personalizing the place up and moving in. So again, a year in a review book is very good for something like that, to document a project that you've been working on for quite a few weeks or months, even if it's something that you could do in a separate book. So just a few specs about this book. This one is a 10 by 10 inch book. It has a glossy hardcover. Inside, I chose the standard perfect bound kind of option with the standard silky paper, so there are no upgrades anywhere. And the book is printed on a digital press printer, so no silver halide and inkjet option for this book. And it was sent to me for free, but the full price would have been £80. However, Mixbook, as you know, offers discounts every single week, so you'll never pay the full price. And you're more likely going to get like 30, 40, 50% off for the most current discount codes. You can go onto my blog, thephotoboogguru.com/deals, and you'll always find the current weekly discounts and voucher codes on the blog. Now, before I show you the book from beginning to end, I would like to give you some tips on creating a year in a review book, some do's and don'ts, especially for the Mixbook editor. The first thing, the thing that helped me the most in this project was organizing my photos prior to starting the photo book editing process. So what I did is I exported all my pictures into folders named January, February, March, April, and so on, because what can happen when you upload loads and loads of pictures into the Mixbook editor, it might mess up the order, and then it's going to be very difficult to kind of find which photo comes after which if you want to follow a chronological order. And also this way, I started with January, so I uploaded my January photos, I inserted them into the book, and then I pressed the button Hide Used Photos in the Mixbook editor, and then all the photos disappeared, so I could upload my February photos, and then in the photos section, all you see is the February photos until you edit that section as well. I hope that makes sense. So basically, you never have to browse through hundreds of pictures when you're editing the book, just the actual section that you're working on. I think this is very good for creating January, February, and so on style year in a review book. Also bear in mind that Mixbook's editor is only working online, so you need to have a continuous internet connection. There is no smartphone or offline editor at the moment, so you have to upload the photos. Of course, you can connect to Facebook, Instagram, and lots of other social media and picture sharing kind of sites, and you can pull your photos from there, or you can upload them from your phone. The second thing I would suggest is to look through every single theme before you start the editing process, because once you started it and you want to change it, it's going to be a little bit tricky. It's not impossible. You can still change anything once you started the project, and you can also import templates from different themes. So for example, if I chose the linen year in a review theme and I wanted to incorporate a couple of page layouts from a different theme, you can do that inside the editor without starting a different project. So that's a very handy thing to know in Mixbook. You will probably not find a copy and paste button, but it's very easy to move elements in the Mixbook editor or layouts, that's something you created and you really like. You can move it to other pages. You can press Command C and Command V on your keyboard. So I think it's Control C, Control V on a Windows-based computer. So you can do that, and you can basically select the elements and copy them from one page to another. And you can also obviously use that function to import layouts from different projects of yours. Make sure to customize the backgrounds and the stickers. So the pre-made templates come with a set of stickers and backgrounds, but the backgrounds in this specific book were a little bit too textured for me. So what I did, most of the backgrounds were with lots of little dots and so stuff like that, little lines across. And I kept some of them because they were nice, but on other pages I just made it all white or made it a simple plain color just to kind of make it less dense and less busy. So make sure you personalize that to your own liking. And you can also obviously change the stickers and select stickers that match the events in your book. Now, one thing I want to point out regarding the Mixbook layouts and the book is that most of the ready-made templates are made up of layouts which go across 2 pages. What I mean by that is, if I show you this page here, you can see that some of the photos go across 2 pages. And this works perfectly well in a lay flat book because it's a single sheet. But when you're talking about a perfect bound book, which is glued at the spine, the book obviously is not going to open fully flat, so a little bit is going to get lost in the middle. However, this book was printed in a way that there is a little white line in the middle, and some section of the photo is doubled to make sure that when the book is basically half open, you can still see the full image. So if you have a look here, you can see that my eyes were actually printed twice, and it's something that you might not be bothered by because it's a very minor thing, but if you want your photos to look continuous, I would suggest selecting layouts and themes which basically group your photos onto single pages, like this one here, or something like this, where there's a little bit of a margin between the pages and the spine, and that way nothing is going to get lost and you're not going to see double eyes or anything like that. It's just a nature of perfect bound books, but since Mixbook layouts contain so many themes which go across 2 pages, this can be a bit more obvious in certain books than others. Of course, it depends on how many pages you have in the book. If it's a very thick book, the effect is going to be less visible, but if it's a thinner book, then it's going to open a little bit wider than a thicker book, and you'll see more of the effect visually. So to sum up, this was a very easy book to create as always, and I really enjoyed the editing process, and it didn't take me more than half an hour. Obviously, I had my photos already organized, so the organization process was a lot longer than actually editing the book. But when it comes to creating a theme-based book, I think Mixbook is one of your best options. It's so easy to use and you'll find a theme for every single occasion. I'm going to show this book from beginning to end now for a bit of inspiration to see what I did, how I changed certain layouts compared to the pre-made start off layout, and feel free to leave your questions in the comments. Again, don't forget to go onto my blog for the latest vouchers, and if you want to see more about my Mixbook reviews, the links are going to be in the description below. Well, thank you very much for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.